Welcome to another five-star edition of Props to Consider and Then Maybe Bet. I am your host. I am the paragon of virtue. I am Lou Betya. Joined this week for UFC Vegas 80 by somebody I started, so I'm very happy that he is making his return to the show after making his debut here a little less than a year ago. My man, Propaholic. Prop, how we doing? How do you feel about this card? Do you have too many bets like usual?
Oh, yeah, of course, man. Way too many bets, and I'm back to sprinkle props this week. I like a lot of sprinkle props as well. I really like this card. I think it's going to be a fun card, like it on a prop perspective. And yeah, I'm ready whenever you are, man.
Yeah, I like a couple props. I dug them up. I do have a little more action than usual on this card, and now that some of the props dropped today, I will be adding a little more. But if you are watching, please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the MMA Manager channel. We would appreciate it. For Wheezy, Brady, Monk, and myself. That being said, let me shout out the chat. We got Mushroom, who came with the building. He's been here since I made the video. Probably, we got Silky B in the chat. We got my girl, Jenna Marie. I did a shiwi for her last night. I probably shouldn't have. It was my second one of the day. It wasn't great. Got my guy, Moyes. We got Kristen. All right, let's cook it off here. Prop, what's your first prop to consider and then maybe bet?
Yeah, so the first prop that I'm gonna be giving out, then maybe bet, but I have bet already, is the Karolina Kowalkiewicz submission. I bet it at plus 850. It's plus 800 now on DraftKings. I just feel like it's a really mispriced line, knowing that like Kowalkiewicz has taken so much damage leading up to this point in her career, and she's been going to the wrestling in her last 2 or 3 fights. She didn't really go to it against Demopoulos because she was really successful against Demopoulos, and like, why would you take down Demopoulos where she's most successful off her back, where she's pretty live for an armbar? So I didn't really think Kowalkiewicz really needed to do it there. And it's like Belbita doesn't really defend the underhook very well either. She's really easy to take down. I mean, Molly McCann's putting you in 3 standing chokes, especially in 2019, 3 years ago, and looks like Khabib Nurmagomedov. It was just really concerning. Hannah Goldie was having a lot of success getting her up against the fence. I know Belbita hurt her, but she was still getting her up against the fence. And then Maria Oliveira, I mean, she has 0 wrestling and 0 grappling, and she's able to go out there and get her down. And it's like, if Karolina Kowalkiewicz gets her down, I don't think Kowalkiewicz is just going to sit and guard. I think she's going to pass positions. I think she's going to make Belbita kind of struggle on the ground. And Belbita's been submitted in all her losses inside a distance as well. So I know Kowalkiewicz only has 3 submissions on her record, but she's taken the back in her last 2 or 3 fights, and she's been getting the fight to the ground as of recent. So you're giving me plus 800 against a girl who has a terrible ground game and where she struggles, and she has piss poor takedown defense, and she's most live on the feet because Belbita throws 16 significant strikes a minute. She is very high volume, so why not take her down when Kowalkiewicz has taken so much damage in her career? So yeah, give me Karolina Kowalkiewicz submission at plus 800. I think it's very mispriced.
Yeah, I mentioned this last night on Pat's show. I mean, you're talking about somebody that, you're mentioning like McCann taking her down a bunch of times. I mean, DePaula took her down. Hannah Goldie took her down. Like, I think it'll be there for her. So I like that look a lot. I don't even know where to start here, man. I guess I'll start with the lowest. My lowest prop is plus 950. In the Pyfer Al Hassan fight, like, I think Pyfer probably wins at a high clip. I think the line is a little wide, but I still think he wins at a high clip. But you have to take Al Hassan round 1 KO here, plus 950. Just low-hanging fruit. Pyfer's striking defense is pretty bad. Ozzy Diaz was popping him on the Contender Series. Amandowski was landing punches. He just doesn't have any skill. If he had any power, he might have like hurt Pyfer and gotten him out of there, but he can't afford to get hit. Now, I think there's a path here where Pyfer just takes him down and subs him. That'd be the smartest thing you could do. Just tool on him on the ground. But he won't, because I don't think that's just not his mentality. So, and we got our guy, Oi! It's not Wheezy, but it'll do. So I think you have to play like a small, like quarter unit play on. I mean, if you're going to take even Pyfer in the distance is like minus 200 something. It's not worth it. Pyfer round 1's not worth it. Like, there's really nothing on his side that's worth it unless you take the sub. So I think Al Hassan round 1 KO feels like his win equity, and dude still hits like a motherfucker. So give me that at plus 950. What is your next prop?
So it's not like the greatest price, but it's Johnny Munoz by submission at plus 265. I just don't really think Arichi Long has the best takedown defense, 57% takedown defense rate at the UFC level. I know Munoz isn't getting his takedowns at a very high clip, but like Arichi Long isn't really facing anyone who's really going with the initiative game plan to wrestle them. He did against Durden, which was defending the takedowns a little bit well up against the third round, where Durden was actually kind of able to win minutes, where he really hasn't succeeded with his wrestling earlier in his career at flyweight. Then it's like Jay Perrin was kind of able to get him down as well and control him. And I don't really think Jay Perrin's like the best wrestler. And it's like Johnny Munoz is really slick on the ground, man. And like what really does stick out to me too is like he actually does his ground and pound, which leads to the submission. He's not just like as he gets the back right away, he's not hunting for the neck. The guy's going with really good ground and pound, and he has 7 submissions on his record as well. He's just a way better BJJ Prackner on the ground, I think. Arichi Long has been submitted 3 times in his career as well. I don't really think he's really faced anyone on a jiu-jitsu standpoint like Munoz. And Munoz does a great job at controlling the back as well. So, yeah, give me Johnny Munoz by submission at plus 265. Not the best line, but when he gets the back of Arichi Long, I feel like he's going to panic. And that's I think Johnny Munoz gets him out of there by submission. So, give me Munoz by submission.
I hope his ball sack is okay as from the last
so do
fight
I,
against
man.
Santos.
Poor guy.
All right. I'm not touching that fight at all, by the way. I don't want anything to do with it. Like, I just don't. I'd actually favor the overs, but like, any outcome there wouldn't surprise me. So like flying toe hold wouldn't surprise me here. But since you're playing all these submission props, I think I should get in on the act too. And I'm going to play Montana De La Rosa round 2 submission at plus 1200. If you want to add round 3, that's, I don't have a problem with that. Obviously, I got it on De La Rosa at minus 112 when I bet her. I didn't get the plus money. And I think everybody this week has broken it down the same way I would break it down in terms of Aldrich has decent takedown defense, which does get tired. I mean, Na Liang was taking her down. Like she's not great on the ground. De La Rosa, this is a step down in competition for her, you have to say. So, Aldrich likes getting finished in the second round of fights. She loves getting submitted in the second round. So why can't De La Rosa? I do think she's going to pressure Aldrich. Either she's not getting the takedowns in the first. She's going to put a pace on her. She's going to back her up. Going to have like control against the cage. At some point, Aldrich will get taken down, and I think De La Rosa might only need 1 takedown to make it a wrap. But I think it happens in the second round. I like the plus 1200 a lot here. The sub in general is like plus 400, plus 450, depending on when you look. And I like that as well. She could get around 1 sub, but I'm targeting round 2. A little bit of wiki capping. I won't lie. A little bit of tapology. Oh look, she loves losing in the second round. So 1200 is good for me. What is your third prop before we get to the main card, sir?
Yeah, so my third prop for this show is I really honestly like the Alex Morono by KO, where it's priced at. It's plus 700, which really doesn't make too much sense to me. I bet the submission at plus 1,000 earlier in the week because I thought the line was going to move pretty heavily, but it really hasn't moved. But I just don't really understand where they're pricing this KO, man. Like Alex Morono is going out there. He's hurting Semelsberger. He's dropping Ponzinibbio twice, and Buckley's been knocked out 4 times in his career. And Buckley has really bad striking defense. He doesn't really move his head as much. And it's like when someone's really standing in the pocket and boxing with him and moving side to side, that's kind of where they give Buckley his struggle, man, because Buckley really likes to be on the outside and kicking you to the body, throwing leg kicks as well, likes to do a bunch of spinning shit. And everything that Buckley throws is wide as well. So everything that Morono's going to throw is straight, while Buckley throws everything wide. I think Morono's very live to knock out Buckley. I don't think Buckley's durable as well also. And I just think he's going to be really open to get countered as well. I like Morono striking. It's improved. Yeah, he got a submission in his last fight, but that's because Means actually got hurt and then he shot a takedown leading up to that. So yeah, I feel like the KO is really mispriced. So give me Alex Morono by KO plus 700 because he's hurting a lot of people in his last 3 fights, man. He's hurting Zawada. Zawada's pretty tough to put away, and he was hurting him a lot. And yeah, I just like the KO, man. I feel like it's mispriced at plus 700 compared to Buckley's KO at plus 100. Like they have the fight to end by knockout at minus 122 on Bet Rivers, and they have Morono's KO at plus 700 with Buckley's at like plus 105. So yeah, give me Morono by KO. That line is way off, man.
What's up, J-Bone? I mean, it's the second time he's been on. I haven't had a lot of repeat guests, so I'm doing the best I can to rotate my crew. I like it. I haven't bet on Morono. The reason I didn't bet any of those things is I think the KO's live. I think the sub's live as well. The one thing that scares me, I will say about Morono is he's getting hit a lot by Means. Like, I don't care about the Ponzi fight because he took it on like 3 days' notice. He looked good for 2 rounds, and then he just kind of death gassed. But he's getting hit a lot by Means. I didn't love that. But I still think he's going to throw more volume here. And I'm with you. I don't think Buckley's durability is great. All right, so this last one I have, stealing a little bit from what's up, Matthew? Yambag Nation is here. I'm stealing this one from Brady. We were talking about this. This is a 2-parter. I like Philippe Lin's submission at plus 700 and round 2 submission at plus 1800. So I know Lin's hasn't had a sub in 5 years. I get it. But so this is more on the Kudiyaba side. What does Kudiyaba do once he gets tired? And it doesn't even have to be in the second round, but what does he do every fight? He starts shooting really, really sloppy takedowns. And once these fights hit the mat, all he does is make mistakes. Johnny Walker submitting you is probably not a thing that should happen. So I'm not huge on Lin's. He's beating up cans. He's pretty low volume, but his cardio is okay. His cardio has never been an issue. Like he's not like he doesn't gas bad. And if this thing gets out of the first round, he's a great live bet too for me. But I don't know what kind of price we get on Lin's. But once this thing hits the second round, if Kudiaba's like had any kind of grappling pace, he's going to be death gas. And I think he's just ripe for the picking. And I think if this thing hits the mat, Lin's can grab a neck. So I think plus 1800 for the sub 2s kind of, I get out of bed for plus 1800.
It's plus 3100 on FanDuel. If you want
the round 2 submission.
Yep.
Well, there you go. Plus 3100 it is. They didn't have a lot of props for that. They didn't have any props for the prelims when I looked a few hours ago. But I know this isn't the prelim. But plus 3100 sounds good to me. All right. So now we're going to get to the main event. Very weird main event. I don't like these kind of main events where you have like a massive favorite. Grant Dawson against Bobby Green. I know you. I'm pretty sure I know where you're going with this because you did tweet it out earlier in the week. I know you've got some Bobby Green love here. Tell the people about it.
Yeah, so I'm on Bobby Green here. I'm actually picking him to win the fight. I'm on Bobby Green round 3, round 4, round 5. But for the sake of the show, I'm going to give out Bobby Green round 3, 4, 5 KO. It's plus 1400 on FanDuel. I just think it's a completely mispriced line knowing how Grant Dawson fades with his wrestling. And I went back to watch how Bobby Green reacts to the wrestling, like a heavy wrestling game plan. And I went back and watched the Clay Guida fight because like that was like if back in like I think it was early 2021. And Bobby Green stuffed 3 of the 14 takedowns. And Bobby Green did look good in that third round leading up to it. And what do I know about Clay Guida is the guy's so damn durable. And he's so tough, dude. Like, I honestly think that guy is just, like, extremely durable. He could eat a lot of shots. And when I'm watching Grant Dawson, when he doesn't get fights to the ground, like, I know it's earlier in his career, but in the Trezano fight, I mean, he just looked awful. The striking just looked terrible. He didn't put anything behind the strikes to get the takedown. Minner came out there and wanted to be on his back and wrestle with him, so he was intended for that game. Then he goes up to fight Leonardo Santos, which is a 1-1 fight going into the third round. And he gets him out of there with hammer fist, which was like, it was impressive. But guy completely gasses out against Ricky Glenn. Goes in there against Jared Gordon. His cardio looks better. The striking looks a little bit better. But he's still eating a lot of shots, man. Like, and Mark Madsen goes out there and drops him, like basically drops him and hurts him on the first right hand in the fight. And what do I know about Mark Madsen is I'm pretty sure he's a Greco-Roman champion, and then just like Grant Dawson knew how to exploit that guy's takedown defense game. And Damir Ismagulov fight, it's like he put Ismagulov in all these bad positions, but Ismagulov came in his last fight. We know Ismagulov was like talking about retirement and everything, so I just feel like it was a lot of suspect stuff going into that. And like Bobby Green pushes a good pace, man. He's always stiffing out the jab. He has great combinations. He goes to the body, and the guy's a veteran, dude. Like, he's seen this game plan before. I know he's only 10-8 at the UFC level, but shit, man, like the guy's a good fighter, dude. For this guy to be priced at plus 300, with Grant Dawson's round 3 being like plus 900, and then Bobby Green's being like plus 2,500, like what fucking sense does that make? Like, I understand, yeah, he could bear hug him, yeah, he can get him down, yeah, he might submit him, but if he doesn't submit him and he can't get him down and he's struggling and Bobby Green's just jabbing up and the damage is leading up, it's not going to look round 3, round 4, round 5. will not look at what the odds are at. So give me Bobby Green. I'm picking him to win. And I've been saying it all week. He's going to finish Grant Dawson in the 4th round. I think it's a TKO standing stoppage of Grant Dawson giving up the strikes.
All right. Love for Bobby Green and some Bobby Greens on Bobby Green. So I'm playing a completely different thing than you here. I'm playing Grant Dawson by decision. The funny thing is, I agree with everything you said. I think the line's wide. I think Dawson's hittable. So my bet is predicated on Dawson going for takedowns and kind of doing what he did to Ismagulov. I'm not saying every fight's the same, but the idea of just get control, not throwing a ton of strikes, trying to tire Bobby Green out. I looked at the under 4.5 at -215. I think that's way wide.
It's terribly priced now. Yeah.
Because Bobby Green's pretty tough. Like his durability's maybe taken some hits lately, the headbutt. I don't know. But I think he's pretty tough. I think he's capable of defending himself on the ground pretty well. I just think Dawson can eat up a ton of minutes on the ground. And by the time it hits the 4th or the 5th round, that's actually a good time to live bet Bobby Green. Like once you think Dawson's got 3 rounds, like go the other way. Because if Dawson's gassed at that point, it's KO or bust for him. So I just think this fight goes the distance at a higher clip than the books do. So give me Grant Dawson by decision as my prop. It's shitty. It's like +350 or some shit, but it'll work. And now we've come to my favorite part of the show. Everybody's favorite part of the show. Yambag Nation, stand up. It's time for the Yambag special. If it's your first time watching the show, number 1, shame on you. Watch the show every week. It's great. Number 2, I put a lot of work into it. We're betting on a point deduction. It doesn't have to be a shot to the balls. I prefer it to be because it's funnier that way. But I will start first since you started. I'll let you close the show. Also, I know that you don't have one of mine here. I debated between 2. I have 2 fights that are Southpaw versus Orthodox, which is always like my starting point. The problem is I don't know how long either one goes. I'm going to play Kudayaba Lins as my Yamabagu special. You have, not only do you have Southpaw versus Orthodox, but you have a dude who gasses. You have a dude who's like throws the wildest, most reckless strikes. His last 2 fights, I noticed, like he's got his fingers out. He's getting warned about it. And Lins just looks like a dude that would love to kick him in the sack. So, yeah. So I am playing Yamabagu, Kutayaba Lins. I know your fight, and you're a sick man for rooting for what you're rooting for. Go ahead.
Yeah, so it's like, how can I not do it? I got a Richie Long versus Johnny Munoz for this fight to be in the end.
He won't give the guy's balls a break, dude.
Dude, like I don't even think it's gonna be from a Yambag shot, dude. I think it's gonna be like a fence grab from a Richie Long, dude. I think he's gonna grab the fence. I think he's gonna grab it a lot. I don't think Munoz is honestly gonna want to strike with him with all the pressure. Richie Long puts himself into the clinch a lot with the way he pressures. He's not really a technical striker, as we know. The guy has absolutely horrific defense. He uses his head as his striking defense. And yeah, I just feel like there's going to be a lot of moments and where he's going to grab the fence. And, you know, Johnny Munoz kicks a lot, dude. He goes for a lot of kicks to the body. So it wouldn't shock me if it was reversed with Johnny Munoz being the one getting deducted for a point for kicking a Yambag shot, which I hope he doesn't because I have a bet on him. But it wouldn't shock me. And I feel like this fight is just going to be a mess, man. So I feel like this fight really is one of the best bets for, honestly, a Yambag on this whole entire card, dude.
If it happens to Munoz, he's gonna retire.
Oh, poor
guy. He's gonna be like, I had enough, dude. I'm
done with this.
I wouldn't blame him. So, well, that wraps it up for us for the show. I would like to thank Propaholic for taking time out of his afternoon after work, not drinking yet. Or maybe he's drinking and he's on the side, but not delaying his drinking for a few minutes. I know you have a busy night ahead of you. Tell the people what you're doing.
Yeah, so we're actually gonna do prop talk tomorrow, me and Couch Warrior, on tomorrow Friday, I think at 6 p.m. We didn't want to do it tonight because the Thursday night football game is at 8 p.m. So we wanted to watch football. But I'll be on Mushroom MMA's channel later at 10 o'clock Eastern time. If you guys want to tune into that, me and Mushroom I'm going to join his channel, break down the fights, UFC Vegas 80. Should be one hell of a time with Mushroom, man. Mushroom is just always a good time. So really looking forward to that. I have you guys can find me at Twitter, MMA_Propaholic. I have my Bet MMA tips in there where I track all my bets, the link to my Discord. And I just started tracking all my NFL bets on Action Network. I just started last week. I post all my bets right before the slate is happening. And yeah, I'll have the link to that in my Twitter bio as well. For some reason, they're saying that I'm limited restriction amount of words that I can put in my bio, so they won't let me. So kind of have to figure that out. But yeah, join my Discord because that's where I have it linked at. And yeah, Lou, thank you for having me on, man. It's always an honor doing shows with you, man. I love being on this show, dude. Always watch you every week, man. And yeah, let's make some money this weekend, man. I'm excited for this card. I'm excited to drink some beers this weekend, and I'm excited for some violence, man. Let's make some money.
I'd like to address this comment. I like pepper, but this is him having food with his pepper, not putting pepper on his food. It's dirt. It looks awful. And
it's so much.
You could very easily just put like hot sauce on and kind of get the same deal. You can find me on the Twitter. I don't know why I sound like Bill Cosby now. You can find me on the Twitter, Lou Betya, happy hour tonight at midnight. I am doing Monk's nickname show. We're actually going directly against you, so I don't really want to advertise it here, and it's on Monk's channel. So if you guys want to find that, go ahead. It's a quick show. It's like a 20-minute show. And I may do a Contender Series breakdown next week. I may upload one next Monday, only because we get Davy Bittencourt, who looks like an absolute fucking rock star, and we get the guy that we interviewed last week, Cortavius, Are You Not Entertained, Ramius. Very excited for his fight. He's in the main event now of the last week. I'm telling you right now, I'm betting him by submission. I don't give a shit what the price is. Bet him by sub. Thank me later. His grappling's really good. He's going to take this boxer down. He's going to squeeze him. And good luck on your bets, guys. Protect your bags. Next 2 weeks, I have John Sturgarian will be here. First time ever. And then I have the 1-year anniversary of this very show. We've made it. And what better way to celebrate it than bring back the first guest I ever had from the Dog or Pass podcast. Paul Shaughnessy will be joining me in 2 weeks for the pay-per-view. Guys, take care, and we'll see you later.